see, where are we at? So, welcome back, everybody, to a new and exciting episode of Monkey Fab Garage. Where we left off last, we were testing the coolant system, loaded it up with water, kicked on the pump, and it's doing what everything is supposed to be doing, which is great. If you make it where the pump can prime, the pump will push. That's like what I originally told you guys, like, get water to the pump and the pump will push it. Pumps are good at pushing, they're not good at pulling. And if you ever had to struggle with a pump that doesn't want to prime or stay primed, then you just you'll never want to find yourself back in that position. So yeah, that being the reservoir is right above that pump, is if it gets water, it pushes it. And it did a great job of pushing everything out of there. So while I sat overnight, and we're kind of halfway into the day, it being Sunday, I took the wife out for a big Sunday breakfast. I got chicken fried steak and eggs because I'm not fat enough already. And yeah, just kind of relaxed, because it's good to relax every once in a while. I know I don't put out a lot of videos, but I do work a lot. You guys don't get to see that part because you guys do not probably want to see me just cutting tubes, bending stuff, and welding it all day long. It's pretty boring. So I'm kind of like looking ahead, kind of seeing I'm trying to, what do you call it, foreshadow what's going on. And so the first thing we want to know is, like, is there water on the floor, right? Is there any drippy drips? Because drippy drips would be that bad. There's 4 gallons of water up in this car. So there's 4 gallons of water up in here. So we want to make sure it's not on the floor. So that is about where it was dripping last night, but I think that was just from the where we spilt it. And other than that, there is no drippy drips. Well, there's this drippy drip, but that's the I think this is a trans brake. It is drippy dripping expensive transmission fluid all over the floor, but there's no water leaking from our stuff. And everything up here seems to be happy. Pete's happy with how everything kind of turned out and how it looks. And there's plenty, like I said, there's plenty of line left there, so he can do what he wants with it. And that's what I'm going to let him do, because he is a bright guy and he doesn't need my help running simple shit like figuring out how he wants to run his hoses or zip tie them into what places. So all we got left to do now, and look at this. I want you to look at this. See, this is done. Okay, see the other side of the fender over a mill. See the near, you see the far. Notice there's nothing hanging out from underneath them. So everything's tucked up nice and neat in the or the bumper, the trunk, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, we're happy. Probably should snug those bolts down, huh? But yeah, so you're just gonna build, I think what I'm gonna do, like I said, is just build a little shield that's just gonna go down, just like a box, like a half a box, and just be something that will protect this from getting coated in rubber. I'm sorry if I'm not doing a very good job today making video. I really don't feel like making videos, to be quite honest with you. I'm doing my best. I'm giving you guys my best. So what we're gonna do is I just welded up the side support for this guy. So this guy's gonna come up. We're gonna try to drill it and rib nut it in 4 different spots, and that way you can bolt that up in there, and it should be pretty sturdy. And I've been just like kind of playing around in my mind, like, how do we keep this pump from moving all over the place? So I think the easiest thing to do is we're just going to build a bracket basically that fits around it pretty tight, and weld it to the bottom of that. So when you go to put it on, you actually have to kind of drop it down, go over, and then slide it up. And then as you slide up, it'll encase itself in this kind of box, is my theory. And we'll give it a try. Hopefully it should just go just like meow. Put this out this side. And hold this over there. Too shabby. It's still got a little bit of heat there. That fits perfect, man. Like a glove. Like a glove. So yeah, we gotta drill holes in this thing. I gotta figure out what kind of... I bought a whole thing of riv nuts, because it seems like I'm always out, and I only had standard size, and I never use anything standard, so it was kind of awkward. And let's hit pause while we clean this up, because this is a disaster area. Three, and last one here, last one. Boy, this I have one of those rivet, just like the it's a rivet nut thing, but it's actually just, I told you I do it every time, but it's actually just like a regular, like handheld rivet. It's really hard to get the nuts in, but this thing works great, man. I want to say it's only like 30 bucks on the eBays. Okay. Let's tuck you up now. Put you on. Hopefully for the last time. Pretty good. That's pretty sturdy rock mill. Okay, so just one last look at what we did with the radiator mill, and kind of my so the radiator came to me like this, which is fine. I thought about making it a dual pass and changing out the dash 12s for 16s and welding them both on one side, and then making a shroud for the fan, running a 16 all the way up to the front, and then splitting it down to those 10s and then returning it back, you know, as a 12 to the top. Thought about fabricating a new. I thought about fabricating a new reservoir, and that might have to happen because it's kind of small, and I don't know if there's enough capacity in there. But the only way to find out is just to run it, and if he's having problems with it, getting too much expansion from the heat and pushing that all into the expansion chamber, and then, you know, not having any water in the system, then, you know, we can address that, make a bigger tank. It's not a big deal. But all that stuff that I thought to do was just like stuff that I was adding on just because I enjoyed, you know, tinkering and kind of geeking out on stuff. At the end of the day, all he has to do is just cool the engine if it's sitting on like in the lanes or whatever, and he's running a little bit too long, and this will probably do it. This is already like this, and why mess with it? These zip ties, I don't like to mess with. I don't even like to do the zip tie thing, but if they're in there, the things were on the top, and I thought, well, that's good because that'll keep things from dangling underneath the car. And we see that turned out pretty well. This line is kind of the lowest line in the whole system, and it puts the pump probably at the lowest point in the whole system as well. And that's why we fed a dash 16 directly into the pump. Like I said, it's easy to prime. It's always going to be primed, then it's going to be able to push. As long as it's full, it's going to push, and that's what it does. It pushes. This thing's at a tilt, and the exit is up here at the top, and that pushes all the air up out of this thing because that is actually the highest point. And once you get all the air out of that, it's just going to roll down the tube, and it's just going to push it out the engine. We went up and over this cross. Right here is the links for the anti-roll bar, so you kind of see it's laying on there, but you can zip tie. There's a couple bars up here and one up above that, up where it can be zip tied onto, up out of the way. It'll go along this side, I do imagine. I'll let Pete figure all this out. He's an engineer, he can kind of do that. I'd highly suggest, Pete, you find a better place for your transcooler. I don't know if that's a good spot for it, but it kicks out over here and goes up through the frame rail and the turbo manifolds, and then kind of just comes out where it hits these blocks. We'll go ahead and drop it down real quick. Okay, so these guys right here run down between the manifold. Like here is the uppermost part of the number, what is that? That is 8. So it's right here. And the hoses, you could actually push back behind that if you wanted to run them up along this rail right here. I'd probably, you know, tie them down to here, just keep them away from there. They go up to these Y blocks. We got this guy on here. It will work to let the steam ports still work and shoot any kind of steam back into the return. And it'll also serve as a place to bleed, so you can, you know, put a clamp on there, take the clamp off, pop it off, and that will bleed out any air that's in this system here. And it just returns the same way. All the inside is paneled, so there'll be nothing kind of showing on the inside, and he'll be all tucked away. And then it kicks out up here above the battery, where we threw on some little silicone hose to protect it, and it just goes around the battery pack, around the back of our secondary reservoir, and into this guy, which should be empty now. And it is. So yeah, and then this guy here, if it blows off, what is this? It doesn't say how many pounds it is. 6.9 bar. So if this guy pops off, then it'll just shoot liquid down to this guy and what else. So pretty simple. Didn't add a terrible lot of weight or complexity, and that's why I told you, but guys, this is kind of so cool, is how simplistic it's put together. I'm not saying it's a simple car, but it's really put together where everything's like really easily accessible. Everything here in the engine bay, the turbo system, the fuel system, everything is just, it seems like it's really well thought out. And that was also part of the thing that kept me kind of thinking to myself as we went along, just keep it simple, stupid, because that's how the car is set up. He's got like LEDs underneath the car, so you can just flick a switch and they're, you know, zip tied to the frame rail, so you actually have light. You know, you could literally work on this car. It's so easy. Everything is so well thought out, well planned out. So that will wrap up the cooling system on this guy. I'm happy that we went with the AN lines. That's probably why I don't feel good today. I think that they assembling all those AN hoses just sucked the life force out of me yesterday. But they're you know, nice, strong, still braided. We're not going to have problems with those. I like them a little bit better than the push-on hose kind of situation for what he's going to be doing. You know, he's probably going to be hurling himself down the track at 150 miles an hour, and you know, anything that could go wrong could be fatal. So we don't want that to happen. So I'm pretty happy with this guy, and I hope you guys dug the show. I'm gonna put all the panels back on so I can get some garage space back in my garage, since the front clips in there, and I'll shoot a little quick video of what this thing kind of looks like all pieced together. Quick rundown, quick look at the car. Insert funky YouTube rap music sounding doo doo bop da ba da ba ba ch ch ba 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 boop doop boop boop doop chaka chak chak back. It's not sitting crooked, that's my lift is crooked. That's what happens when you pay your friends to put your lift in with beer and steak. Not that I'm ungrateful, I couldn't have done it myself. So yeah, what a great car, man. I love this car. So happy to have played a little, albeit a small part in this, but it's cool, and I'll take great pleasure in Pete obtaining his goals with this deal. Yeah. But as for now, it's time to tally up all the labor and the fittings and the hose, and get Pete on the phone and say, hey dog, it's time to get your damn Mustang out of my garage. I got engines to build for Volvo station wagons. So yeah, thanks for joining in, checking out the series, and until next time, this is Mike from Monkey Fab signing out. Be sure to go check out the website. It's Monkey Fab Garage. It's monkeyfabgarage.com, and all your little fabrication needs. If you don't see it there, then let me know what you were looking for, and I'll see if I can add it to the store for you. So thanks. Until next time, it's Mike from Monkey Fab signing out.